Scream 4 begins with a clever fake-out, a movie within a movie, showing scenes from the fictional Stab films, which are based on the original Woodsboro murders. This layered opening plays with audience expectations and sets the tone for the film's self-aware commentary on horror reboots. After the fake-outs, the real story starts in Woodsboro, where two high school girls are brutally murdered, signaling that Ghostface has returned once again. The film marks the 15th anniversary of the original Woodsboro massacre. Sidney Prescott, now a successful author, returns to her hometown to promote her new self-help book, Out of Darkness, which details how she survived the killings and overcame her trauma. Her arrival coincides with the new murders, drawing suspicion and media attention back to Woodsboro. Sidney stays with her cousin Jill Roberts and Jill's mother, Kate. Meanwhile, Dewey Riley is now the town sheriff, having married Gail Weathers, who struggles with writer's block and feels distance from her old life as a hard-hitting journalist. Dewey's deputies, including the overly eager Deputy Judy Hicks, investigate the killings. Gail, feeling left out of the investigation, decides to use her instincts to uncover the killer herself, even if it puts her in danger once more. Jill, a high school student, and her friends, Kirby, Olivia, and Charlie, represent a new generation obsessed with technology, fame, and horror movies. They discuss how modern horror differs from the classics, with remakes and reboots replacing originality. This meta-commentary becomes the core of Scream 4's theme, how society's obsession with fame and media has evolved since the original murders. The killings escalate as Ghostface brutally attacks Jill's friend group. Olivia is killed in a particularly gruesome scene in her own house, while Sidney is nearby, reinforcing Sidney's guilt for bringing tragedy wherever she goes. The violence shocks the town, but it also excites the teenagers, many of whom see it as a chance to become part of a real-life horror story. Gail sneaks into a Stabathon party, a fan event celebrating the Stab movies, to investigate potential suspects. However, Ghostface attacks her, leaving her injured but alive. This attack convinces Dewey and Sidney that the killer is targeting people connected to Sidney, and those reliving the original events through imitation. The climax begins at a house party hosted by Kirby and Charlie, where Ghostface strikes again. As the chaos unfolds, Sidney rushes to the scene to protect Jill. Kirby is attacked after realizing that her crush Charlie is actually one of the killers. He and his accomplice reveal themselves to Sidney, just like in the original film. But their motivations take a dark modern twist. The shocking revelation is that Jill, Sidney's cousin, is the mastermind behind the new murders. She orchestrated the killings to frame her ex-boyfriend and to position herself as the new Sidney Prescott. Jill's motive isn't revenge, but fame. She wants to become the sole survivor of a new Woodsboro massacre and gain media attention in a world where fame can be earned through victimhood. Jill attacks Sidney and stages the scene to make herself look like the lone survivor, even injuring herself to sell the story. She wakes up in the hospital believing she succeeded, until she learns Sidney is still alive. Enraged, Jill tries to finish the job, but Sidney, Gail, and Dewey fight back. In a final confrontation, Sidney kills Jill with a defibrillator and a gun, ending her cousin's twisted bid for fame. The film concludes with reporters outside the hospital calling Jill the hero of Woodsboro, unaware that she was the killer. This ending cements Scream 4's critique of fame culture.